going on, everybody? B. Scott here with
GOD.
and welcome to the First Four Downs. And on today's show, we're going to be previewing the NFC East. You got the Washington Redskins with Ron Rivera coming in as head coach. That should help them out. You got the New York Football Giants. They definitely increased the roster. And then, obviously, you got the heavyweights in the division, Dallas and Philly. So, at the end of the day, we're going to give you our predictions on where these teams fall at the end of the season. So, keep it locked and loaded right here at the First Four Downs.
Drop the logo.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the First Four Downs. Like in the intro, we already previewed. We'll be going over the NFC East. So we're going to be looking at the predictions for the teams. And we can start with arguably the worst team in the division. That's got to be the Washington Redskins.
We'll see.
It's an argument, absolutely. Yeah. So for me, I got them at 4-12, finishing out the season. And I think Ron Rivera coming in as the new head coach, definitely defensive minded. They bring in Jack Del Rio. That helps the defense, of course. Number 2 overall pick, Chase Young. You know, it's ridiculous to bolster a defensive line that's was okay last year, not horrible. It's going to get even better, especially. So, you got all this defense build up, but offensively, they didn't really add a lot of pieces. So, a team that finished in the bottom 5 on defense and offense last season, how many wins can they actually put together? I got them at 4 wins, 4-12. I mean, what do you think?
That's crazy. You know, Vegas got them at 5 wins, so you're not very far from it. Vegas also has the New York Giants at 6.5. I think these teams are going to switch places in the division. You look on paper, you know, as you said, they got Ron Rivera coming to the team. First-time head coach there, you know, departed from Carolina. This guy has gone off and got so many picks, so many holes that they had, you know what I mean, on the defensive side. They went and got Thomas Davis back in the middle, you know what I mean? He was a dope linebacker for them in Carolina.
Old veteran.
Yeah. They also went and stole Sean Davis from that great Pittsburgh Steelers defense last year. He'll be playing on the other side of Landon Collins. They were able to retain Kendall Fuller with Fabian Moreau on the other side. And then you look at Ryan Kerrigan prior to last season, he had, 10 sack seasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you forget, also last year they moved up in the draft 8 spots to go get Montez Sweat. Now you add Chase Young. That front 7 is going to be absolutely incredible, I think, especially with Ron Rivera under the hill and Jack Del Rio leading the way. Those guys are about business, and they know how to fix teams, and they know what to bring, a winning culture around a football team is supposed to be. I agree with you. On the offensive side, they are a bit of lackluster. There's a lot to prove there. They got Haskins, who Jay Gruden didn't really want to even draft this guy. You know what I mean? They didn't really have a game plan for this kid. But you look at Rivera and his system, he's been able to produce a dope quarterback. So, and not to mention the quarterbacks coaches they got. You know what I mean? I think he's around a lot of good leadership. I think it does depend on Haskins' development going forward. But I think this team is going to be competitive. I think they're going to be pretty strong. I mean, you look at San Francisco last year in the offseason. Nobody predicted San Francisco to be as good as they were. With Philly and Dallas being as good as they are right now, I don't think that they're going to actually win the division. But honestly, I got them looking at the schedule. I have them with 7 wins, 7-9. I think they just switched places in the division with the Giants. And I think, that heyday is coming for Washington Redskins. I think they're finally going to be good again.
I think I can agree that the defensive side of the football, they've added a lot of players, and I think the defense is definitely going to be a lot better. Period. I mean, Chase Young was already
generational player. They're saying this kid's better than both of them.
That's what I'm saying. So that's going to be ridiculous for him. But the offensive side is very lackluster, and you don't really know what you're going to get from Dwayne Haskins. That's the problem, too. So, Terry McLaurin, great receiver. Don't get me wrong. Rookie season, outstanding, 1,000 yards. That guy's a stud. I really think he's a great receiver. But
Trey Quinn is also Trey Quinn is a good slot receiver. He had a lot of success with Kirk Cousins. I think they're gonna be good, man.
They lack at the tight end.
I think they could use an additional, legit number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah,
but I think they're going to be competitive enough. You look at Darius Geis, Adrian Peterson. The old man is still there. They're going to be capable to run the ball. And going back to San Francisco, nobody was dominant coming out of that backfield prior to last year. You know what I mean? Then you seen Mostert emerge after that terrible Tevin Coleman.
Breida wasn't bad.
Yeah, Breida was pretty good as well. but I think this is they have the same DNA. You know what I mean? I think Washington's going to be a good football team. I think it's going to take 2 years for them to really gel. You know what I mean? But I think they're going to be dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Defenses don't get built overnight.
Yeah.
You know, plain and simple. You put them together, and it takes a couple years, especially to gel together. You look at 49ers, if you were comparing to them, that defensive line took a few years to build together. Then you add Bosa on top of a dominant interior. So
Yeah.
I get it. I could see them winning some more games, but I still think they're going to struggle in that division. They got kind of a tough schedule.
Of course.
So anyway, we can move to the New York Giants. And this is another team, I think, in a division where they're not going to win a lot of football games. And I think Daniel Jones, by no means is great, but he's solid enough. No worse than Eli Manning was in his entire career. That's kind of how you compare him to him. And Eli Manning was good, was never great, you know what I mean? But he was always a good quarterback, above average. So that's where I kind of put Daniel Jones. But he's coming off his rookie season. Is he going to have sophomore slump? That's definitely possible. On top of that, the wide receiver core. Can they stay healthy? You know, Sterling Shepard's always missed time. Golden Tate, he's old. Darius Slayton's great, but he's also coming off injury. And then Evan Ingram is always hurt. You know, so that's the entire wide receiver core. Then you have arguably the best running back in the backfield. That's also coming off of a kind of a down year considering how good he is.
Well,
with a high ankle sprain.
I think it's more or less to the fact that the team sucks.
Well, I think their offense is better than the Redskins. First off, I don't know if their defense is better per se, but they've increased the defense. They brought in Bradbury for the secondary. They brought in a couple offensive linemen to help on the offense, and I think they're going to be a little better. I really do, but it's hard pressed for me to say they're going to be a great football team. So that's where I got them at 4-12.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at 4-12 right now, and I look at the schedule. I got them 3 wins. I got them 3-13. I just don't see them being very good. Daniel Jones, you can't cure turnovers.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can get all the offensive line men you want to. If this guy is just turning the ball when somebody sneezes on him, then, hey, this guy maybe not be a very good quarterback. Then you got Saquon. Saquon, yes, he's probably the best running back in the league outside of CMC. You know, Ezekiel Elliott, Kamara, those guys are all right there in that bunch. But you answer your own question. The receiving core, I mean, you know, can they stay healthy? Can they actually play football games? You know what I mean? They haven't shown to do that so far. So I just don't think that's relevant enough to even compete in the division at all. I don't see them winning against very many teams. Who are they better than?
I would say
Jacksonville, maybe
Jacksonville,
maybe Cincy, but Cincy got firepower.
Miami, possibly
Miami,
even the Redskins.
I don't think they're better than these Washington Redskins.
And I think it's a lot tougher to play in New York, especially come wintertime. So
Yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see. But I get it.
And they're definitely not beating these top 2 teams.
That's the thing with divisional games. You never know when it comes to them, you know. But yeah, they're more than likely not going to.
Yeah.
I got 4 wins. You got them at 3 wins. We can move to the heavyweights. And first off, we'll start with Dallas.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys last season, very underachieving. Period. They finished at 8-8. They had a top 10 offense, top 10 defense. They got a young linebacking core,
Facts.
Van Der Esch, you know what I'm saying, and Smith. They lost Byron Jones, but they beefed up their defensive line even better.
Front seven's crazy.
They lost Robert Quinn, but you still got DeMarcus Lawrence out there. They had a Dontari Poe on the interior.
Gerald McCoy.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Great leadership.
yeah, so they built up that defensive line, which is great for defenses. You already know defensive lines kind of win championships. Chris Jones, you saw last year with Kansas City Chiefs, dominated that line play in the Super Bowl. And that's what arguably made the difference against 49ers. So, yes, the Cowboys, they are a team that could win 12 games.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they on paper, we've said it. They probably, on offense especially, have the most talent outside of what? The New Orleans Saints, a team maybe like Tampa Bay.
The Chiefs, yeah.
You know, but can you win football games?
Yep.
Dak Prescott has to prove it. He needs his contract. That's a big button thing in Dallas right now. What they do? They went and got CeeDee Lamb. Absolutely fell to him at the 17th spot.
Yes.
That could be a completely crazy X factor. He wearing the 88. So I hope that he just absolutely monsters. And they got Blake Jarwin. I like Blake Jarwin as a dope target for.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
he's shown he's
for
gotten
that.
better every year.
Yeah, so that offense should be firepower like it was last year. They did go through a coaching change, a head coaching change, but they kept the OC. So you won't see too much change. You know what I'm saying with the offense. So that'll be good. I think Michael Gallup's going to clown this year. Vegas got him at 10 wins. I got him at 10 wins as well.
Yeah, I definitely got him right there. Also 10-6. I got him right behind the division leader in the Philadelphia Eagles, but it could be a toss-up. Realistically, the on paper, their team is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But can they win the football games? Mike McCarthy hopefully should help that. I feel like he's a more disciplined coach than Jason Garrett was. And Jason Garrett, a lot of times, was mediocre at best, over the career of Dallas. So we'll just have to wait and see, but definitely. Dak's playing for a contract. It hasn't happened yet. So at the end of the day, he might be playing for that contract.
Yeah.
10 wins. That's where I got the Dallas Cowboys. And only behind the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
And so Eagles fans should be excited, because Philly has it all. They really do. They beefed up the defense. They helped the secondary, bringing Darius Slay. Huge impact.
Yeah.
Because they had one of the arguably the worst secondaries in the league. They dealt with injuries all year. And it was horrendous.
Yeah.
They had the bottom 2, bottom 3 secondary.
That's what I'm saying. They were injury riddled on both sides of the ball, yet they still won the division.
Yep.
This offseason, I think they won the whole offseason. You know what I mean? Like you said, they got the Cooper Stopper and Darius Slay with a trade for Detroit. And then they went and stole Hargrave in the middle, you know what I'm saying, from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, they did a lot. And not only did they do that, they drafted Jalen Reagor. They drafted Hightower. They also traded for Marquise Goodwin. This team got crazy fast. And they still have Deshaun Jackson. They still have Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah.
They still have Dallas Goedert. They still have Zach Ertz. No Jordan Howard there no more. Miles Sanders is primed to just eat this year. And you still got Carson Wentz. You know what I mean? Philly, y'all taking that division. I got you at 11-5. And you honestly got a route to be like, I wouldn't say they'd be the number 1 seed in the NFC. But they have a chance to be one of those top teams right there.
Yep. Yeah, I definitely got them written down as 11-5 too.
Yeah.
They don't get me wrong. They could finish 10-6, maybe even 9-7, because they do have a couple tough games that I think they'll be able to pull out.
Yeah.
I think they'll be able to beat the Saints at home, which should be a huge win for them. I think they might struggle with Pittsburgh, Dallas. I got them, Green Bay, San Francisco. You know what I mean? So they got some tough games in there, but I think they could get it done. Yep. So 11-5, Miles Sanders should be a huge year for him. Everyone's got high projections for him. They should be okay.
Yeah, they got it.
They did it. They did it without wide receivers last year.
Yeah.
Even if the wide receivers get hurt, Jalen Reagor being young, I think should help them. Period. Anyway,
Yeah.
Worried about the injury, but if they can stay healthy, like always, they should be able to have the division. So,
of course,
at the end of the day, Eagles fans get excited because it's your division for the taking. So, it's been B. Scott,
God.
and if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumb, hit the bell, subscribe, all that stuff. And we're out.